Hello and welcome to my channel. For the purpose of this channel, I will be doing videos on religious apologetics, the traditional arguments, and mixes with the new ones. Although for traditional arguments I will not be focusing on the modern day apologists who parrot them, let's be honest. I will instead be focusing on their origins, or as the arguments in general. For example, with a few exceptions. For example, when I deal with Pascal's wager, I will go through modern interpretations of it, as well as, of course, the original Pascal's wager, and its relation to Aristotelian ethics, which is the reason which many people, when they look at Pascal's wager, they really only think of the modern version, or they think of it out of context. And instead of seeing it as what it is, an argument not for the existence of God, not even for it being a good idea to believe in God, but instead as an argument from the point of view of someone who believed that belief in God led to being more moral. Something that's rather silly, but that was his belief, and the idea of the relationship between Aristotelian ethics and the good behavior that comes from such a belief. Of course, like I said, I will also, when I deal with Pascal's wager, be dealing with the modern arguments, which tend to be the silly ones that modern apologists use because they don't understand logic or decision theory or metaphysics, or, let's be honest, anything other than making the people who already agree with them go, I agree. Now, in addition to apologetics and the various arguments that relate to God, I'll also be dealing with other major philosophical ideas, such as the various types of deistic gods that exist, as I do find many of them interesting, as well as major philosophical arguments that are independent of ideas about the existence of God or gods, such as Plato's philosophical and ethical ideas in the Republic, maybe a little bit of his metaphysical ideas in, say, the Phaedo or the Timaeus, and in addition, and of course, as I mentioned him earlier, Aristotle, his ethics, as well as some of his physics and metaphysics, maybe a little bit of his biology, because for someone who was wrong about everything outside of logic, Aristotle was fascinating, and I will say brilliant. For a few more modern philosophers, Immanuel Kant, most Americans pronounce it Kant, but they're wrong, as well as David Hume, maybe Spinoza, and probably my favorite early modern philosopher because of exactly how balls to the wall crazy his ideas are, and the fact that I love that they take pure empiricism, pre-Kant empiricism, to its natural psychotic conclusion, Bishop George Berkeley. And yes, it's Berkeley, the school in Northern California, is named after him, yet they decided to pronounce the name differently because some weird reason related to their founder. Now, I would like to point out that while there will be a greater emphasis on how things relate to the various ideas of the existence of God, I'm not going to deal with, for the most part, specific religious ideologies or texts, except where I feel they're relevant. There are plenty of other and very good channels that deal with those. The Bible Skeptic, the Bible Reloaded, the Quran Reloaded for people interested in reading about Islam, or at least hearing people reading about and talking about Islam and being very entertaining. I will not primarily be dealing with those because there are other channels that do it, and quite frankly, I've never really found it anywhere near as interesting as the philosophical ideas. In addition, my videos will emphasize the vast majority of time philosophical ideas and philosophy rather than science. it's not it's not because I think science can't give answers. It can. I think it's the only thing that really does give us real answers. It's not because I don't find it interesting. I do. It's simply because, once again, there are plenty of other channels that are with people who explain scientific ideas and things in science a lot better than I can, and it's certainly a lot better than I would. Aaron Ra comes to mind as someone I would greatly recommend watching his videos. Also, I'm not going to be specifically referring, with the exception of when I'm talking about a modern version of an argument, to modern apologists, for two reasons. The first is, I don't think they deserve recognition when all they're doing is parroting the ideas of smarter people from centuries past. And also because, once again, there are other channels that deal with the works of modern apologists. Steve Shives and his excellent series, I suppose, An Atheist Reads, something I would recommend to anyone who is interested in more modern apologetics and the way that modern apologists parrot, with minor changes, traditional works by more intelligent, more interesting people who had the excuse of living before the Enlightenment. These modern apologists don't, and quite frankly, I don't think they're worth discussing. So so my channel will deal with videos on those things, and welcome to my channel. If you find it interesting, watch my videos. If you don't find it interesting, maybe watch my videos anyways. Maybe you'll like it. Who knows? Anyways, thank you.